Hey everybody, out there. How you doing? It's Red Bime with Spartan Wellness again. Joined today with Mark MacInnis there with Instant Imprints out of Burnside, Nova Scotia, in Halifax. Veteran, father, and now an entrepreneur. How you doing, Mark?
Doing well. How are you doing, Riyadh?
I'm doing well. It's great. Listen, thanks for joining us. I think it's great that we get to talk to veteran or soldier who's making a career after taking the uniform off, and it's great to have you. How's the weather out there in Nova Scotia right now?
It's a little chilly this morning, so it's one out there. Feels like -3, or at least it did this morning. So looking forward to the summer.
Yeah. We starting the calendar countdown now. Just checking off the days. It's pretty good still in Ottawa. They say Thursday it's going to be 20 degrees, so that might be the last golf day, but we'll see. So we're just having you on the call and talk about military life, post-military life, sort of what you're doing. And, maybe I'll just start off with, when you were transitioning from the military life, it can be a huge shift, right? You know what I mean? It's like all of a sudden you're out of uniform and now you got to go to the bank and pay bills. What the heck, right? What were some of the personal and professional challenges you faced, along the way
Absolutely. Well, there's definitely, right. I was in the Army for 17 years, and it's really kind of all I knew of adult life. So when I did make the change, I moved right into entrepreneurship, no time for a break in between, but I definitely experienced, a change in focus, right? Not only that, but, there's definitely a difference. The people are different. The way they interact with you and the way you interact with them is different, right? So you have to adapt to that. The way people dress is different. Their demeanor and, they show up late for meetings, so I'm always very timely. I really kind of internalize that professional side of things. I had to learn that, people don't always do what you expect of them or even what they'll say they do. So, for example, in my company specifically, we deal with a lot of suppliers. Well, you have to now indent for the fact that the UPS guy doesn't feel like delivering packages on Friday. So those are some of the personal and professional things that I had to kind of deal with in my post-military career.
Yeah. It's it's funny you say that because we were so in the military, especially in the combat arms side, we were just so trained, as long as you were effective, you could soldier on and do your thing. Everything was taken care of for us, right? I think it's great because we connected while you were building out Instant Imprints, your business, right? And we got to work together a little bit on that, and I got to see, from start to finish. I remember when you were, talking about before you even got your brick and mortar, right, and how excited you were and everything, and of course, we want to support you, as a veteran business. So we've done some collaboration. So I think the audience would love to hear about how your journey intersected with us, Spartan Wellness, and how has that collaboration made a difference for you?
Oh, absolutely. So, I reached out as part of my release process to the PSO a little later than I probably should have, and they eventually introduced me to the Princess Trust program. So I was actually paired with Riyadh as my mentor-mentee. So I was the mentee, he was the mentor. And, he definitely helped me through some discussions with regards to, challenges regarding personnel, scaling, things along those lines. So he, having already was running an experienced business, was able to provide me with a bit of that guidance. So, even a sounding board, yes, I have a business degree from once upon a time, but I haven't really used it practically. So his knowledge was very useful to me, just to say, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. What do you think? Just to bounce that off someone who came from a similar background. It was extremely useful to me, right? And then that eventually turned into some business for me because we were able to assist Spartan Wellness with some of their promotional products and apparel and things like that, which is great. Helped me get the name out there. And also, too, it was one of those, kept me 1 foot into the veteran community, right? Which is something I think we'll talk about a little later. but something that I am still resonating that it's very important, not to kind of forget where you came from. And my initial go-to was kind of to, just focus on the business and kind of forget about the past, kind of focus on the future, which I'm not going to say was a good road to take, but it was the one that I was choosing to take at that time.
Mm-hmm. Getting back to your roots, is, you said it well, not forgetting where you came from, right? That's so important. But no, I will say this, great gear, great delivery times, all that stuff. And we've been happy to, a lot of our patients are wearing shirts that you made, right? So that's fantastic. At Spartan, we talk about the 5 keystones to wellness. And we focus on these 5 key areas: self-care, community, integrative medicine, education, and empowerment. Which of these, or if all, has really stood out for you in your post-military journey?
So I wouldn't say empowerment for myself, and I think the reason for that is, I was a leader when I was in the CAF, as an officer, and as a business owner now, I'm still a leader. So I do think I'm empowered, but I can definitely see for some other folks that would be very important. For myself specifically, the things that I really kind of hoist aboard and need to keep myself on track for are self-care. And the reason for that is that I don't want to say I blame the Army, but a lot of it comes from the Army is, that whole my mission, my soldiers, myself kind of thing. And unfortunately, there's usually not enough time for the last one, right? So you just kind of shake it off and you keep moving forward and on to the next problem, on to the next activity. And you never actually take the time to take care of yourself. There's always that I'll do it later. And I'm still struggling with that to this day as a business owner, because there's always something that requires my attention. There's always something that I could be doing better. There's always something that my team could be doing better. But I still have to remind myself to take that time to, be with my family, to sleep, to take care of myself. And I'm still struggling with that, but I'm at least aware of it. The second piece would be the community. So, as I said, I kind of disengaged, and that would have been 2 years ago now, a little over. And now I'm still slowly, actively starting to re-engage. Simple things like joining my local officers' mess and showing up to some of their activities.
Yeah.
So my regiment, we used to do broom ball. Right. So nobody's playing broom ball these days. So the officers get to play it a couple of times, but the NCOs have been playing it for 20 years once a year. Right. So they got pretty good at it, and they'd always give us we'd pay for it on the ice.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, it's, I will say Nova Scotia, my time here, the sports and the camaraderie amongst the Navy folk and everybody was pretty good. It was, I didn't know what to expect when I first got posted here, and I can say that good people in the East Coast, especially in the military, especially in the Navy, and all the supporting units as well. It was just it made the transition from a Pry 1 job to a lower Pry a little easier, for sure. Yeah. But listen, Mark, Remembrance Day approaching. What does it mean to you personally? And is there any reflections or advice you'd like to share?
Yeah, so Remembrance Day is always important. That's ingrained in us from the moment we join until the moment we release. I myself was in cadets as a child, so I've been doing this since I was 12, right? And the first Remembrance Day I missed was I missed 2 of them in a row, and they were both due to COVID. At that time, I was in Sudbury, and there was a tent encampment, so they just decided to kind of, celebrate in your own way in your local neighborhood kind of thing. So that was peculiar for me, but we did it. I think the main message, especially for those people who may experience a little difficulty on Remembrance Day, is, you need to reflect in the way that's best for you, right?
Yeah.
So maybe that's showing up to a ceremony. Maybe that's going to a mess. Maybe that's literally just taking a moment by yourself if you're not ready to go to that larger event to reflect. But you can't just put it off. You can't just put it out of your mind. You've got to take that time. For yourself, putting it on the back burner and ignoring it isn't going to do it. And that's something I kind of had a little difficulty after I got out of the Army. But I always made that conscious effort to do a little self-reflection.
Yeah, Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, I know it's been getting harder for me each year. The armor sort of chips off, you know what I mean, as I age. And I even find now I put my poppy on Friday, and I had to sit down and just, take a breath, right? It's it's one of those times where we think about everything, right? And I think even stuff before our military or after our military service that may have affected us even pops up, right? Because it's just your mind becomes that sort of sponge to all the vibes and emotions around you, right? And but I think you said that very, very well. It's, celebrate it and recognize it your own way, and that's got to be the best way, right? And I think one of the biggest messages I can give is self-care, right? Especially now, self-care is so important, and it's like the last thing we think about when we were serving, right? And even when we did get hurt, we were in such a rush to get back to the team, and you're not letting yourself heal properly and so forth, right? So, listen, Mark, it was great talking to you. Great having you on board. It's been a pleasure working with you, both when you were starting your business. We can talk mentee, mentor, but I think it was just two dudes talking and talking about business, right? And I think you're going to be very successful. You've got the right mindset. Self-care is very important. Take some time for yourself, of course, but it's been great working with you. I'm really looking forward to continue working with you. I know our business together has been very, very well done, and you've been very responsive to our needs, and even when we had to make some corrections, you know what I mean, you made it happen quick, and that's what's most important is following up and making sure the experience is great. And I know that you have a very much a customer service first approach, and it's going to definitely do well for you. So I'm really excited, and let's. I'm just having a Remembrance Day flash thing here now, but let's stay in touch, and you be safe this week.
Absolutely. Thank you.
To all our veterans and first responders, thank you for your incredible service. We invite you to join our absolutely free webinar, Freedom to Live Well, created by our virtual care squad and delivered by Spartan Wellness Ambassadors. We're committed to supporting you on your wellness journey and believe that great things happen together. Book your wellness appointment today at spartanwellness.ca.